Amanda here, and welcome to our super quick brewery bio show on Great Beer Adventure. That does seem to get a little easier to say the more you do it. Today, we head up the coast to Atlantic Brewing Company and speak to Molly Kruger.
I'm Molly Kruger, the Marketing, Media, and Events Director here at Atlantic Brewing.
If you have never been to Atlantic Brewing, you are missing out. My family and I head up to Mount Desert Island at least once a year. MDI, as it is referred to, is home to Bar Harbor, Acadia National Park, and Atlantic Brewing, among other lovely places. Atlantic Brewing is located near the center of the small island that is MDI. It has its own little campus, which seems to be expanding every time we go. Plan on stopping by Atlantic Brewing Company at lunch or dinner time, as the campus is also home to an amazing barbecue place. We literally plan a whole day's activities around when we'll be visiting Atlantic. As always, when I meet someone new, I want to know their first beer memory. So that was the very first question I put out to Molly.
Not the first one, but I guess an early one. I was a German major in college, and I spent a year studying there. So I guess just drinking, wheat beers outside in beer gardens for pretty cheap. And I thought they tasted better than all the, cheap stuff back home. So that was a style that I really enjoyed for a long time. Just kind of has like a nostalgic feel for me.
Obviously, I love Atlantic Brewing Company, but I wanted to know more than just what I could taste. So I asked Molly about the story of Atlantic Brewing.
Yeah, so we began brewing here in Bar Harbor in 1991. We were brewing out of the back of the Lompoc Cafe, which was just a restaurant back then down in the downtown area. And the owners decided that they wanted to do something kind of different that wasn't being done at other restaurants in town. There's a lot of options of where to eat in Bar Harbor, so they wanted to kind of do something that would set them apart. And back in the early 90s, not too many people were home brewing, so craft brewing. They got together, learned how to homebrew, and just started making Bar Harbor Real Ale, which continues to be our flagship in the back of the restaurant, in just 1-gallon batches. And it kind of took off from there up until 1998, when we came out here to our location in Town Hill, right outside Bar Harbor, to sort of expand the amount of beer that we were able to make. We've been doing that here ever since, for about almost 25 years now.
Everyone has a favorite beer, and you can get a sense of who they are by the story they tell.
My favorite beer is our newest beer, actually, the 04609 Double IPA. It's sort of different than the typical Maine Double IPA that you'll see a lot of. That's super, super hoppy, but also really sweet and malty. We brew it with just one variety of malt, pale malt, so it gives it kind of like a nice dry base for those hop flavors to really take the forefront, and it's just citrusy and kind of resiny, and it's really, really good.
Here in Maine, the weather is a little unpredictable. I asked Molly on an unseasonably hot fall day which beer she would suggest you all go try this weekend. She knew that the heat wave wouldn't last.
I personally, if it were a little on the chillier side, like it often is in fall, would go for an Ellen's Coffee Stout. It's really, really flavorful. It's got vanilla, milk sugars, and a ton of cold brewed coffee in it, so the flavor's really powerful, but it's also fairly light bodied, so it's drinkable, and it's one of a dark beer that'll satisfy that kind of bite in the weather, I think, for the fall.
Atlantic Brewing Company does have a bit of a reach with their distribution, so I hope you can find their beers near you. If you can't, make sure you seek out a local version of the Ellen's Coffee Stout. If you first try it and can't taste the coffee, I suggest letting it warm up a bit. The flavors really start coming out of the beers when the chill of the fridge starts to dissipate. To find links and pictures, head over to the show notes at greatbeeradventure.com/017. As always, we'll be back next week. Until then. The music in today's episode is brought to you by Old Etc. To learn more about them, head on over to greatbeeradventure.com/music. We have new things coming your way every Friday, and we can't wait to share them with you. Today's episode was edited, produced, and a lot by me, Amanda. Thanks for joining us. Go subscribe, and we will see you next time. Cheers! Want to know more? Be sure to find us on Twitter and Instagram at Great Beer Women. Make sure you head on over to greatbeeradventure.com/subscribe to subscribe. That way, you'll be the first to know when a new episode goes live. We would love it if you left a rating and review on your favorite podcatcher. Let's spread the word and get more people knowing about beer in the great state of Maine. Great Beer Adventure is part of Portland Roots Media.